This week on the Gilmore Girls, the dorky Dean totally embarrasses himself with his silly salad, while the girls are much cooler with their pizza, and they introduce Rory's boyfriend to the Donna Reed show, which to Dean's surprise, they actually enjoy mocking, making up their own dialogue, much more interesting than the lame 1950s setting of the Donna Reed show, which actually Dorky Dean quite likes because of course he does. But here's a good example of such mockery from the Gilmore Girls.
Not that my sugary attitude wouldn't make anyone an instant diabetic.
Mother-daughter window washing. We should try that.
Yeah, right after mother-daughter shock treatments. You know, daughter, there's nothing more satisfying than washing windows. Oh, no.
What? Did I miss a spot?
No, I just had an impure thought about your father, Alex. Funny. I don't know why I had it. It isn't the second Saturday of the month.
Hey, I heard you had an impure thought about me.
I must now sublimate all my impure thoughts by going into the kitchen and making an endless string of perfect casseroles.
You're not even listening to the dialogue.
Ours is better.
I don't know, it all seems kind of nice to me.
What does?
Well, you know, families hanging together. I mean, a wife cooking dinner for her husband. And look, she seems really happy.
She's medicated.
And acting from a script.
Written by a man.
Well said, Sister Suffragette.
But what if she likes making donuts and dinner for her family and keeping things nice for them and...
Exactly, Dean. Creepy stalker boy. Those steely Gilmore Girls stares says it all. You really blew it. You really, really blew it. And he compounds it later by putting his foot in it once again with Rory the next day, describing the perfect dream of the domestic housewife, which Rory oddly responds with a bit of this.
You can say it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Thank you. How's it really?
It's perfect.
Yeah?
It's amazing. I mean, I've never had anyone make dinner for me before, except my mom, and believe me, it's not the same.
I'm extremely glad to hear that. Wait, you want to save room for dessert, right?
Oh, that's right. So, what's for dessert?
Lime Fantasy Supreme.
Which is...
Green Jello and Cool Whip.
You were insane.
Oh no, I forgot to make the rolls.
What?
I was gonna make rolls.
Well, that's okay.
I can't believe I forgot them.
What are you doing?
I'll make them now.
Oh, okay, well, hold on. Come on. We really don't need rolls.
Donna Reed would have never forgotten the rolls. They're gonna make me turn in my pearls.
Rory's sudden turnaround in this episode makes me think that the writers are sort of hinting at her youthful innocence and naive, and the fact that this is a coming-of-age show and Rory's still finding her place in the role in the world. It also makes Dean retract some of his further statements, or his earlier statements. His befuddled, stupefied expression is kind of cute and funny and endears the audience to him a bit more. But I think it's also making a comment on how, as females in the entertainment industry, you slowly have to work your way up the ladder and you sometimes have to compromise certain things just to get ahead, but how you can also use your smarts within positions of power, because Rory actually makes a very good point about Donna Reed being one of the first female TV executives, so how she essentially used that and got power and a foot in the door. So it's a very interesting scene, which I think strikes just about the right balance. But I think there is some definitely commentary in there about femininity in entertainment and what are expected of them in the world by men and by a masculine sort of culture. So it's a cute little scene, and there's quite a nice little payoff when Dean stumbles outside, and meanwhile Luke's over helping Lorelai, and the bird has got loose, the bird that Rory's looking after for a school project. And Luke and Dean come sort of face to face, and we get a little bit of Dean oh sorry, Luke being like a father figure for Rory, looking out for her, asking Dean what's he over here for. But the big payoff to the scene is then Rory's gonna stumble out in a Donna Reed dress a moment later, and Lorelai's then going to come out and see her. And I kind of like this, the fact that it's played as a joke, and it's played as, well, now I've got this over you from Lorelai, so I'm going to make you suffer and use this to my advantage, rather than giving her a preachy sort of mother type telling off. So I did like that. It's a good payoff to the scene. And Dean's terrified face, which you'll see in just a moment on the images, is pretty funny. It's one of his best ever expressions. He really does look like a petrified twerp. But switching over to the other main plot, it's then Lorelai offers to help Luke paint his diner to improve it, and this comes after an early scene where Taylor is giving Luke some stick for never, like, doing the place up, and Lorelai, with her cute but hard to hear paint dance, she really does have bad vocal skills, shames Luke into letting her help out. And obviously Lorelai wants to change the whole thing. Luke is very resistant. At one point, when she uses this weird sort of expression, stenciling, I think it was, Luke's like, does that come from Martha Stewart? And Lorelai concedes yes and said, I'm not doing it. But in the end, they come together. It's a cute little scene. They bond. There's a scene where they have to hide when they're in the back and people are going to walk in. You're seeing the images now, which is very nice. And Luke actually opens up about his father and about the reason he wanted to open the diner, which is to do with the fact that it was his father's whole life. So he's carrying on that whole sort of lifestyle and sort of tribute to his father, which is really great. And they bond some more, and the chemistry is once again delightful. It crackles away. And this leads to a later scene where Rory, drops a bombshell when she's telling her pigeon story over Friday night dinner, and that allows Emily to find out that Luke was once again over. And Mistress Emily, of course, has to be nosy, has to question Lorelai about why does Luke keep coming over, and she cottons on to the fact that there might actually be feelings here. And she's kind of a bitch in this scene and kind of snobby, because she makes a comment when leaving, because she says thank you for being honest to Lorelai, because Lorelai concedes maybe I do have feelings. So then what happens is Emily says, well, why don't you get better taste, sort of thing. And that is really cruel, considering in a previous episode Luke has actually helped her out and was supportive when Richards was in the hospital. So no, poor show, Emily. And who is the dorky, mysterious guy on the motorcycle at the end of the episode? By God, it's Christopher, Rory's father, making his first ever appearance on the show. It's quite the cliffhanger, because they're watching this mystery guy riding around on a motorcycle, and Rory's kind of getting, into it, and oh, who is this guy? And then he pulls up, and it's of course Christopher, back in town to wreak havoc on the Gilmore girls. And there's this nice bit of back and forth where Rory wants to have a ride on the motorbike, and Lorelai's no, on, off. And it's this on-off sort of thing where Lorelai has to sort of give in and not be such a stick in the mud, let Rory have a ride. And it's obviously a whole metaphor for what's going to happen, the fact that Christopher is now back in their life and she's watching her daughter grow up, and this is going to lead to some big tension, some big issues. And Lorelai, again, I think wanting to be a team player and not be a stick in the mud, agrees to let Christopher stay a couple of days because he's looking for a place in town. So I think it ties nicely into the fact that her and Luke have been getting on really well in the episode as well. So suddenly maybe there's a chance to progress with Luke. and then suddenly her former lover comes back into town, and it's going to upend everything. Now, I will just say, MVP of the episode is definitely Lane, not for the first time, when Rory comes over to ask her if she can borrow some obscure CD. Lane delightfully goes through all her sections in her CD collection, and she pulls out a cracking Susie and the Banshees reference. God damn you, Lane. I mean, I have to say, she also admits to owning a Bon Jovi album, which maybe isn't so cool, but hey, there you go. You can't have everything. But a nice little appearance from Lane, once again stealing the episode. So it's a pretty solid episode. I think the Lorelai Dean stuff, Lorelai Luke stuff is probably the highlight. And coming up next time, we're going to focus more on Christopher's return, and that's the name of the next episode, which is going to affect Emily, Richard, Rory, and Lorelai as well. So more Gilmore Girls coming up soon on this channel. Thanks for listening. Like and subscribe, all the rest of it, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.